Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about something that's generating a lot of buzz online, the so-called relaxing vacation of Khan Yaman's mother, Goldem, which turned out to be anything but peaceful. She traveled to the Turkish coast in search of peace, sea, and silence, but what she found was tension. By her side was Sara, Khan's current partner. Everything seemed perfect. Sun, beautiful views, rest, until the silences began. From the very beginning, they say, Goldem appeared distant, cold, almost unreachable to Sara. Every gesture was filled with subtle but clear discomfort. Witnesses confirmed that the atmosphere was tense, few words but heavy ones. And in the middle of that silence, the name of Demet Özdemir, Khan's ex, started to echo. She was truly authentic, Golden reportedly said, making it clear that chapter hasn't really been closed, as if the past were still alive and present. Sara tried to stay strong, smile, pretend, but it wasn't easy. One particularly tense evening, Goldem said a phrase while staring at the sea. There are energies that are never forgotten. Sara, wounded but proud, responded her way, with a message on social media that read, "Some temperatures don't decorate, they burn." Short, but sharp. And of course, the silent battle shifted to the digital world. Followers split. Some sided with Sara, others defended Goldem's firmness, who believes no one can replace Demet. Khan, on the other hand, remained silent, and for many that silence spoke louder than 1,000 words. Was it cowardice or a desperate attempt to avoid deeper wounds? Inside the vacation villa, things kept getting colder. Dinners felt like soulless rituals, nights filled with sighs and absences. It's said that Sara locked herself in her room, taking refuge in music and words that perhaps no one will ever read. Meanwhile, Goldem stood firm, convinced Sara isn't the right woman for her son. Even the staff noticed the tension. They simply served food and picked up broken glasses, both from the table and from people's hearts. Social media was boiling with theories. Was Demet sending signals? Should Sara leave? Opinions crashed like waves, endlessly. Goldem, true to her nature, held her ground. For her, honesty is more important than politeness, a stance that, for Sara, became an impossible wall to climb, a wall that perhaps didn't begin on this trip, but long before. Toward the end, according to sources close to them, Sara began to think about returning alone to Istanbul. Some even say she considered ending the relationship. Khan, torn between loyalty to his mother and affection for Sara, faces the greatest challenge of his personal life. His silence hurts, and that pain is palpable. Meanwhile, Demet's shadow grows stronger. It lingers in the unspoken words, every sunset, every glass of wine. The past demands its place, even when the present tries to ignore it. So ends this summer, a summer that was supposed to be relaxing, but became an emotional battleground. Another chapter in a story where love sometimes fails to find fertile ground to bloom, and where the hardest walls aren't made of stone, but of memories that still ache.
As much as some try to reduce Demet Özdemir to just Khan Yaman's ex, the truth is she stopped being just the woman who was with him long ago. Demet has built her own path, solid, courageous, and clean, far from the noise and speculation others obsessively feed. Because yes, some people cannot accept that a woman, after an intense and public story, chooses silence over scandal, distance over drama, dignity over nostalgia. I see it in the comments every day. Fight for your love, Demet. Get back together. You love each other. And I understand. There are memories people hold tightly as if they were their own. But what moves me about Demet is exactly the opposite. She doesn't need to shout what she feels. She doesn't need to clear up every rumor or respond to those accusing her of not going back. She doesn't reply because she owes no one an explanation. And that, in her world where everything becomes a show, is a beautiful act of rebellion. Some say Demet has moved on, that she's in a new chapter, happy with another man, and while I'm not the one to confirm anything, I do sense a different serenity in her. Not that fake coldness celebrities often use as armor, but real calm, earned through wounds, tough decisions, and deep introspection. Her way of looking, being present without exposing herself, choosing her words carefully, it all speaks of a maturity many never reach, even in a lifetime. It also bothers me to see how some try to attack or diminish her, claiming she lives off her fame or hides behind contracts. Don't they see what she's accomplished on her own? Demet isn't just a beautiful actress. She's a woman of strength and values who has stood tall in an industry that doesn't forgive. A woman who doesn't need to cling to the past to stay relevant. And yet, no matter how strong she appears, I don't think it's been easy. Because to love deeply, as she surely loved Can, doesn't go away with a click. To have half the world analyzing your every step, hunting for clues, building theories, it must be exhausting. And because no strength goes unbroken at least once in the solitude of a room. Yet, there she is. No scandals, no victimhood, no attacks, just moving forward. Steady, radiant. I know many still hope to see them back together. They fantasize about a cinematic reunion where everything begins again. But real life doesn't always work like that. Sometimes to love also means to let go. Sometimes true courage is staying on your path, even if it hurts. And I believe that's exactly what Demet has done. To me, she represents something entirely different from what the spotlight usually shows. She represents the elegance of silence, the power of independence, the beauty of a woman who doesn't need to justify her happiness. Maybe she still carries scars, like we all do. Maybe, deep down, there are chapters not yet closed. But what she conveys today is a peace that can't be faked. And in a world full of noise, that's worth more than 1,000 words. So no, I don't think we should keep wondering whether she'll get back with Can, nor judge her if she doesn't. We should see her for what she is, a complete woman who has loved, lost, learned, and kept growing. And if one day she decides to share her story, it will be on her terms, not ours. Until then, all we can do is admire the way she has turned pain into light, because that, more than anything else, is what makes her unforgettable.